How's it going, everybody? Just felt like coming out to the saw shop. Sorry, it is. Again, I know I've been saying it's been hot, but it's 90 in here, 55% humidity. It's been hot. It's been hot, and I am a large fella, so big fellas don't like the heat. How you guys doing? I just thought I'd jump out here. Was doing some YouTubey things in the house and answering emails. Keep them emails coming. One of you's been porting a 562. I think I'm gonna do mine. I know that cylinder's kind of rough, but I kind of want to do a little grindy on it. I got so many projects in my mind. Right now, the number one thing in my mind is this, and I haven't had this on the bench in a while. I'm gonna throw this saw back together and put it in the wood. I want to talk today about. I haven't done a bench talk in a while, and for you true blues that have been around, you know, Travis Weldmaster, retired welder. I got welding on the brain right now. Jack Fly, you guys know the deal. I like having you guys here. You always leave positive comments. Chuck 805, he's got that big smile in his little avatar there. I mean, you true blues, you guys are always here. I appreciate you. I got my Australian crowd, my Sweden crowd, Norway, New Zealand, United States, Canada. It's fun. Steve Thoreau. I wanted to do a little talk today. I'm in the mood about the realities of porting power saws. Part of having a YouTube channel for me is to share knowledge. I like to show as much of my builds as I can. Sometimes you guys say, did you do that or you missed something? If there's something not in the build, I may have just edited it out or didn't film it. That's the truth. But I like to show my builds on video. And the realities of porting saws. You have problems with some of them. These old power saws, when you port them, they can become a fickle creature. This morning, Buckett's been having some problems with that 266 carb we put on the 66 I just sent him. It ran good for me, and of course, you saw builders, you know, you build something like that. I ran that saw for weeks before I sent it. Send it to him, he runs it, all of a sudden he's having carb issues. It is what it is, right? I hate for my saws to have problems, and anybody that knows me personally will know how I am. I'm very finicky about my builds. I like them. I like to have maximum horsepower, but they got to sit there and idle and tune. And so yeah, there was the Iron Horse, myself, and Bucket going over carbs. Bucket has piles of carbs. It's like, well, maybe you have one. He put one on there today. We'll see if it works. That's the reality, friends. Part of being a saw builder is I spend a lot of time helping folks with their saw builds. Why? Because you're gonna have little issues. You know, so just remember that, friends. If you want to succeed, don't push your timing numbers too far. Go a couple degrees on the exhaust, couple degrees on the intake, run it. Don't push your intake much past 155, 157. You can go a little further, but I say that because sometimes a couple swipes might be another degree, and now you've gone too far. I had a fella in an email last week. He pushed his timing, I think it was 167, 170. That's like really, it was spitting back through the carb. I told him you could JB weld it or get another cylinder. You can fix anything, but if you don't have tolerance for that kind of stuff or the funds to buy another cylinder, and friends, I'm going to tell you right now, okay? Look, for those of you that have been on my channel, I cut my teeth building stuff, whoa, like this, and that, okay? You guys get the idea, okay, guys? This is the stuff I like building. There's no money in this kind of stuff. It's just all time. This saw, I put bearings, seals, gaskets, and a piston in it. I cut my own pop-up. That's an original OEM 266 cylinder I had laying around. Remember, I was messing around with this saw the other day. I have some parts off of it. The 272 turd saw, the original one. never really been happy with this saw. Again, I'm an honest fella. This cylinder, I don't know. I think this cylinder is a little bit out of round. It got hot. I cleaned it. It cleaned pretty good, but I think in the future we're going to do this one again. I've never been happy with it. It doesn't make the power that it should have. It's strong, but I think we can go better. See, again, folks, I'm an honest guy. I'm not one of those guys that's ever going to say every saw I build is the best saw. No, it's not. I like to think I build a good saw. If I don't think it's good, it's not going out the door. I'll tell you that. I am that fella. But anyways, friends, the reality is that you know how you get good at building saws? Build a lot of saws, port a lot of saws, and every problem you have, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. You're adding to your chainsaw knowledge, and the more you're in this community, the more you're going to meet other fellas, like Donnie Walker. This fella here, Donnie Walker, Walker Saw Shop, the man knows things, right? And it's like, it's a pleasure to know guys like that. It's a pleasure to know Iron Horse. It's a pleasure to know Buckin. That guy's been running saws for years, okay? No one of us knows everything, including me, friends. When you guys email me, often I say I don't know because I don't know. If I've never worked on that saw, I can't tell you what the timing numbers should be. I can guess based on bore and stroke, but I could be right out to lunch, right? So, the reality is, don't push the numbers. Now, recently, I've been getting a lot of emails about this pipe, the 266 I built, the ceramic bearings, the piston, the big carburetor, which we had problems with. You guys want to do that kind of stuff, which I think is awesome. Now, here's the thing, friends. You have to know when and where to apply those moves. That stuff is... Okay, so here we go. The ceramic bearings, those have lower rolling resistance. They free up horsepower, okay? So, that saw should have more horsepower with the same timing numbers as, say, my 272 there. My 272 has basically the same timing numbers. I went a little different in some directions as that 66. That 66 will run circles around that 72. Why? The bearings. Also, the piston in there, that CCC piston, again, thank you, Dave, for bringing those to market. Those pistons are incredible. I'm going to have to get some more of them in the near future because I'm hooked on those pistons. I would actually like to put one in my 181 there that TK sent us. That piston's light, friends. Again, more power, okay? Do you need that in a regular saw? No. Will it add power to a mild saw build? Yeah, but it's not necessary, friends. I'm at that stage where if I need more power, sometimes the limiting factor is the piston or the bearings. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions about big carbs. A big carb on its own, sometimes but not always, will make a saw pull a little harder up top. I'm going to do a video on that this summer. I know a saw that could use a bigger carb, and I'll just bolt a bigger carb on it. What I feel is more power, whether it'll make more power, we'll have to wait and see in video. Buckin's 266, that saw is ported hot. It is a work saw still, but it is a warm work saw. That saw will not tolerate dull chains or lean tuning. It's a saw perfect for Buckin. The guy knows how to run a saw, and he's run saws way more than me. I'm just a saw builder, friends, and I like making horsepower. I'll build stuff like that for him because he's the guy to run it. Saws like that will not last with careless use. So remember that if you're new to the performance side of chainsaws, or new to sharpening, you probably don't want to turn your saws up. A dull chain will cook a saw like that. So that's a hard lesson to learn if you put a lot of time into a saw. Heat kills, friends. It really does. So I needed a bigger carb on that because I need more air and I need more fuel, because I want to run that saw up here. Down here, normally ported, it'll run with a stock carb, but I want to run it up here, which means I need more fuel and more air. Now on its own, that carburetor, I don't think that thing would overfuel a stock saw or a lightly ported saw. So remember that it's cool to bolt a bigger carb on a saw, but you have to know the when and where, and that friends just comes with experience. So remember that. A lot of stuff you see guys like me building, usually you're going to see most of the build, but there are things that just don't make it on video, and you have to know the whens and the wheres of what to do and what not to do, and the signs of trouble and dissipating heat. Remember, friends, if you turn a saw up, it's going to run really, really hot. That's where this comes in, okay? I want to talk about this saw, or this pipe. I'm just going to unbolt you guys here. I actually got you guys charging. This is just more of a friendly bench talk. You guys were asking about this pipe, okay? Whether it'll get your leg. No, I mean, you'd have to spin this saw all the way back to get your left leg. It's just, so, I had quite a few emails. Why did you go so big? Well, I want to put dampers in here and actually damper these in and out. I'm going to run it like this, though. Now, remember though, friends, this saw is getting ported, like, okay? Got good penetration on those welds. I'm going to try a different rod next time. We can talk about that as I do it. Thank you, Bill Block. Bill Block, the man knows how to weld. It's, again, another fellow I love talking to because I used to weld, but I've never welded professionally. I'm self-taught. Just like with this stuff, guys, I'm self-taught. I had a lot of help from guys like Harvey. But, I mean, I have no professional mechanical training of any kind. It's just a lifetime of making stuff go fast. Remember, friends, this saw is getting ported, and it's going to get ported warm. What you see on one of my saws, I built, remember, I move air, friends. I can accurately decide how big the pipes need to be. Now, these are huge, okay? But I built them to damper them down. Now, do I think this saw will run with stock with this? Well, I'm going to try it. Do I think it'll run ported with this? I think it probably will. I like my saws to have a lot of fuel. Okay? If they get a lot of fuel at a high RPM, they make a lot of heat. And if they make a lot of heat, you want to dissipate the heat. Back pressure is a thing, but there's ways to make back pressure without stifling off your stock muffler. You know what I'm thinking, guys, with this? This is going to be a residential tree saw, okay? My buddy Caleb runs a tree company in Texas. Tejas. Hey, Texas. I want to go to Texas one day, friends. That's one of those places. There's so many places I want to go. I want him to be able to put the spark arrestor in this. I also, friends, I don't want this saw to be crazy, crazy loud. I'm going to tell you guys that some of these saws we build, ear plugging and ear muffing. They are loud, so be aware of that. If you don't like loud, some of this is not going to be for you. It sure is fun, though. I think what I'm going to do here, friends, and I don't know if anybody's done this. I don't internet much these days. Why couldn't I just cut that out? Look, it's right there. Why couldn't I just open this up? You guys think that'll work? I think that's what we're going to do. And if that doesn't work, well, we can drill a hole through here and go through that center baffle. There's a big center baffle in here. See that? We can drill through there into the back chamber and port it that way. Okay, so I'm just kind of rambling here. You true blues, though, you guys like my bench talk. So that's why I did this, friends. Do I know it's going to work? No, no idea. I don't claim to know everything. You know what I know? Just, I know what I know, okay? I've had a lot of questions for the last year about this 461. I don't know where this comes from, friends, but apparently that little bridge that goes across the case, you guys know, any of you that have built a 461, there's this little air deflector that goes across the case. Apparently, the cylinder will contact it on some builds. I don't know. I didn't have that problem with this. It's here. Here you guys go. I haven't run this saw in a while. I don't know. I didn't have that problem. So a lot of you guys asked me, and I don't know if somebody else had that problem and they posted about it. Again, I don't really do much interneting, so too busy working on saws. I watch a little bit of TV here and there, but usually I'm either reading, sleeping, or working. I don't do a ton of internet-y type things. But yeah, I never had that problem, friends. So I don't know if it's just my saw or what. There's no air leaks in the saw. The cylinder bolted down and it didn't contact that. So I don't know, maybe if you do machine work, remember guys, I don't, look, I don't need more compression than that. That's a lot. So, again, sometimes you see things on the internet and maybe some of the story's missing, not because the person's being disingenuous, just because they didn't add that to the story. So, but anyways, friends, so we're getting ready. I'm going to rip this thing down soon. I've run it enough. I might cut a few passes with this pipe on it. We're going to take this apart and look at it. And I kind of have an idea. I gained a lot of good data from that Super Pro 70. Again, buddy Caleb, guy that owns this saw, sent that. He's a friend of mine. And I wanted to mess around with my saw, right, before I did it to anybody else's. I'm like that. We are going to port this coming up. What are my plans with this? Well, this looks like an overgrown XL76. I'll have to put a timing wheel back on it after a base gasket delete, measure some things internally. If I treat this like an overgrown XL76, it might act like one. That's kind of fun, eh? That home light I built for bucking, I think that's my favorite saw, friends, because that's the hardest saw I've ever built. More hours were spent on that than any other saw, and a lot of nights of wondering where to go with it, right? That was not a plug and play build. It was fun though. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I think I'm going to do another one of those just because, or two. I'd like to have one laying around here just to make me giggle once in a while, and I might have to build another one just because. So anyhow, friends, I don't know. Again, I think hopefully this will act like an overgrown XL76. If we add 20 cc's to that build, I know the reed dimensions in these. I've already had these apart and measured them because I have a few of these and I've been planning on porting them. So that's coming down the pipeline. So there you guys go. Carburetor sizes, bigger is not always better. If you build a super high RPM saw, again, make sure you have good bearings. You might need a bigger carburetor, but you probably won't. It just depends on the saw. I can't tell you. You got to feel it. If you think the saw is being held back in RPM, you might want to try a bigger carb. If you don't have one laying around, well, that could be a couple $100 roll of the dice. So it's good to have carbs laying around in bins, which most of us do. That's what we do, right? You have a good carb, you think you need a bigger one, well, bolt it on and try. And that's a lot of this stuff, friends, is trial and error. And you know, you look at those old timers that have been porting saws forever. The Bobby Walkers out there, like that man's been porting saws for what, 50 years probably. They know things because they've been there, done that, and it's like the way to learn is through your own experience. I'll help guide you, or whoever you choose. You got to pick a builder that you like the way their saws run. That could be any builder. I can't tell you what kind of saw you like. If I'm the builder that you enjoy how my saws run, I can help guide you, but the only way for you to know is to climb in there. McCulloughs are probably not the way to start. These are an interesting saw. This thing here, I don't know. Ooh, I don't know why it has so much compression, but it does. That's a good thing. If we're starting with that kind of compression, I'm gonna go fairly silly on this. If the Super Pro took what I threw at it, what can this handle? We got another 10 or 12 cc's to play with here. Anyhow, friends, just wanted to touch base with you. We'll call this Saturday Mumbo Jumbo, because that's what it is. Just flapping about saws, telling you guys what's coming. We got another saw in the mail. It's going to be a special build. I want to unbox that and talk to you guys about it. So stay tuned. Anyhow, as always, thanks for watching. Take her easy, and I hope you got air conditioning, because it's hot. Woo. Real hot. Later, guys.